We got the Phillies versus the Giants tonight, and I'm going to have two player props for you guys to lock in for this game tonight. The Phillies had a great holiday weekend over the 4th. Hope everybody else had a good holiday weekend as well. Started rough on Friday, then they won 2 straight against the Reds. Now the Phillies travel to California, travel to San Francisco for a series against the Giants. Normally for these Phillies games, I like to find home run props for everybody to lock in. The Giants' home stadium is the worst venue basically in the entire MLB for home runs. So I'm going to have to pivot for today's picks. So I will have some plays for you guys to lock in. We're just not looking at the home run market for today. But before we get into that, we got to do a recap from yesterday, or excuse me, I guess from the last time you saw me, which would have been Wednesday. So Phillies didn't play on Thursday, then took off the weekend for the 4th. Admittedly, Wednesday's plays did not go well. We did target the home run market and did not have any success doing so. Went 0 for 3 on the picks for Wednesday. That was the double header for those of you that remember. That's going to happen in the home run market. We're staying away from that tonight, so hopefully we're able to have a lot more success. Before we get into today's picks, just remember to head to BetMGM. Use promo code CROSSING to get started. Would appreciate it, those of you who are not already, if you could subscribe to this new YouTube channel as we try to grow this Philly-specific betting YouTube channel. And let's talk about the Phillies game tonight. So Cristopher Sanchez is on the mound for the Phillies. You can basically rely on the Phillies having excellent starting pitching for at least 3 of their 5 starters. Who's to know about Jesus Luzardo? We'll see about that 5th spot. But Sanchez, we can rely on Sanchez to pitch well. And then on the other side, Landen Roupp is the starter for the Giants, who's been really good recently. So it's 2 good pitchers, 2 lefty pitchers in a pitcher-friendly stadium against 2 offenses that struggle against lefties. If you don't already know, this has the makings of a pitcher's duel, which gets us right into our first play. We're going to go with Landen Roupp under 2.5 earned runs. Now, the odds on this admittedly stink. -165 odds at BetMGM Sportsbook. Normally, I don't love taking anything at -165, but you can't take an alternate line on the earned run market, and I just absolutely love this play. Now, I already mentioned it, but I'll talk about it in a little bit more detail. Oracle Park, the home stadium for the Giants, among the worst parks in baseball for hitters. It's a pitcher-friendly park. The way that the stadium is designed, it minimizes carry, so the wind has no impact on the trajectory of the baseball, so it doesn't matter if winds are blowing in, winds are blowing out. It's just a bad stadium for carry. And this is the perfect opportunity to fade the Phillies offense. Now, number one, for baseball, I try to find tough spot situations. So you take away the matchup between the batters and the pitchers and all that stuff. You just look at the spot the team is in. This is a bad spot for the Phillies. They played yesterday, then had to fly across the country to take on the Giants tonight for a West Coast series. So again, from a spot-specific situation, not a time where you would want to take or back the Phillies offense. It makes it a perfect time to fade them. Not only that, but it's not like the Phillies offense, it's not like we've seen the best of their offense recently. It all started with that darn Astros series a couple weeks ago. And if you look at the series of games since that Astros series started, the Phillies have a below average offensive WRC plus. They played 12 games. They've scored 4 or fewer runs total. So we're looking at the entire game. They've scored 4 or fewer runs in 8 of those 12 games. Now, the majority of those games were played in hitter-friendly conditions. The Astros home stadium, generally hitter-friendly. In the last couple weeks, the Phillies have been at home at the bank with good hitting weather. And obviously the Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies home stadium, is a good hitter-friendly park as well. And they still managed to score 4 or fewer runs in 8 of those 12 games. One game they scored more was against Bryce Elder, who's basically a AAA arm. And then 2 games they scored over 4 runs was this past series against the Reds. The Reds have among the worst pitching staffs in general in baseball. And they did a lot of damage in these games off of the team's bullpen. Like yesterday, the Phillies scored 3 runs. 2 of them were off of the bullpen. So I'm not expecting the Phillies to have a lot of success in general. That's not even talking about the Giants starting pitcher, Landen Roupp, is pitching for the Giants. He's been really, really good recently. You look at his last 9 starts, he's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 7 of those 9 starts. Now, 1 start, he had a bad start. That was against the Dodgers. You can't really take away anything from that because the Dodgers have one of, if not the best offenses in baseball. They have a ton of guys that crush left-handed pitching. Not at all the case with this Phillies offense, who's really, really struggled against left-handed pitchers. Now, as I mentioned, Roupp is a lefty. You look at since June 1st, so we're looking at about 5-6 weeks here. The Phillies have the 10th worst offense in baseball against left-handed pitching, the paltry WRC plus of 86. Now, for those of you that don't know, WRC plus is just like a weighted runs average way to kind of measure offenses. 100 is completely average. Anything below that is below average. They're at 86, which is not a good number. So we're not expecting the Phillies offense to have a lot of success in this one. Obviously, the odds, yes, they do reflect that at the pretty grotesque -165. But in certain situations like this, especially for baseball, you kind of have to accept bad odds, especially with the earned run market where going from one stat is incredibly dramatic in terms of how it impacts the odds. I do think it makes sense to take it in this one. That's our first play. Next up, we'll talk about the other starting pitcher. Give me Cristopher Sanchez under 1.5 earned runs plus 115 odds at BetMGM Sportsbook. So we're basically taking the same exact play, just with the other pitcher fading the other offense. Now, this time, we'll talk about the pitcher first because Cristopher Sanchez is pitching for the Phillies. I mean, he's fantastic. He's been fantastic for the last couple of years. He's been fantastic this year. He's gone under this number. So basically, he's held the offenses to 1 or fewer run in 3 straight starts. And he's done that in 4 of his last 6 as well. Now, he had a tough, so Sanchez has made 17 starts this year. He had a tough stretch where he allowed teams to score 2 or more runs in 6 of 7 starts, kind of in the middle of the season. Taking that out, he's gone under in 6 of 10. So especially for a market we're getting at plus 115 odds, and that's every single start he's made on the year. There are a ton of factors in favor of Cristopher Sanchez, but it's just nice to see him mostly go under this number that we're getting at plus 115. So we're getting a plus money price here. And you look at the entire year, you look at all qualified pitchers. Sanchez has the 14th best ERA, the 10th best expected ERA, the 10th best FIP, which stands for field independent pitching, just looks at like how many earned runs would you give up with just completely average fielding. Again, 10th best. The 7th best expected FIP, expected field independent pitching. And Sierra is a stat that I like to look at. It measures the quality of the batted balls that the pitcher allows, also looks at strikeouts and walks and stuff like that. Cristopher Sanchez has the 8th best Sierra of all qualified pitchers in the entire MLB. Yeah, Cristopher Sanchez is very, very good. Now, one part of this game that really, really favors this under earned run market for Cristopher Sanchez, normally he can go 6-7 innings. Sometimes he can even go 8. Cristopher Sanchez is awesome. But this is a situation where it would not be shocked to see the Phillies and manager Topper take Sanchez out at maybe only 5 or 6 innings pitched, maybe at like 80, 90 pitches. The reason why? The Phillies bullpen is completely rested. Zach Wheeler literally pitched a complete game shutout yesterday. The Phillies bullpen did not need to do a single thing yesterday thanks to Zach Wheeler. That is incredibly beneficial to have all of your arms completely rested. So because the Phillies bullpen, they got no wear and tear on their arms, it wouldn't be a shock to see, again, Topper take Sanchez out at 5, 6 innings pitched, kind of similar to what he did with Ranger Suarez. Now, that was a unique situation. They're trying to manage the workload for Ranger Suarez. So just because they did it with him doesn't mean they definitely will with Cristopher Sanchez. But with the All-Star break coming up, it wouldn't be surprising to see the Phillies be a little bit safe. And if he's at, let's say, 90 pitches after 5, after 6, instead of trying to throw him back out there for an extra inning to see if he can get 3 more outs, just put in your completely rested bullpen, which obviously helps with this specific earned run stat for Cristopher Sanchez. So all those reasons why I really like Cristopher Sanchez to have a good game tonight. I haven't even talked about the Giants offense. They've been a bad offense all year. They've specifically been a bad offense against left-handed pitching all year. You look at the entire season, 7th worst WRC plus against left-handed pitching. You look at any other stat, not just WRC plus, Giants offense is bad against lefties. Since June 1st, they've been even worse. 4th worst offense against lefties since June 1st. So I would not be shocked if, this game at night, it's after one half of the game, after 5 innings, I should say, I would not be shocked to see this game be 0-0. So if you want to take like an total runs first half of like under a half, get a pretty good price on that, I would not blame you. Either way, I will gladly take the under earned runs prop for both of these starting pitchers. Landen Roupp under 2.5 at -165. Cristopher Sanchez at under 1.5 at +115. And that's all we got. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Make sure to head to BetMGM. Use promo code CROSSING to get started. Like the video, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Would appreciate that a lot. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one. Must be 21 or older in participating states. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See terms and conditions in the description of the video.